Welcome everybody to J and J Smoking Hour podcast. This is episode number 2, coming to you live during the day on this fine Thursday morning, January 19th. Jarrett Jackson here. Go over what we're smoking real quick. I got that Dirty Rat. A shout out to my boy Ryan Rayford, one of the best reps in the game. It's breakfast time, so breakfast of champs, quad espresso, a little heavy cream, and a cigar.
So I've got, I guess, a hell froze over today for me at the mothership. It shows you when you get a popular cigar, with great thanks to our good friend Albert Cisneros. Jared, I am finally having my first Rojas Carnitas street tacos. Every time I've come through, they've been sold out. So very much enjoying this so far. Got a hot cup of coffee over here as well.
I love that word, sold out, baby. Let's do it.
Oh, yeah. Hey, man, it's a good stick. Really great morning stick. Happy to see what Noel's doing, and always appreciate Albert.
Since he was so rude and didn't introduce himself, this is our Joel Mouth of the Midwest Reeser.
It's true. I was so excited about this cigar. Yeah, Joel Reese, the mothership, Omerta Cigar.
All right, we're going to get right into it. We're going to keep this one a little shorter than our last one. I think we're going to try to keep that format. One little longer one a little shorter one. So first subject of the day, we get asked this a lot, or I do anyway, about the hashtags, right? For us, the concept behind the hashtag is really it's really a core concept for the group. So we're going to talk about last year's hashtag first, and we'll talk about this year's hashtag next. And you'll see this throughout our posts, whether it's personally or more importantly through the businesses. So last year was focused on fellowship. The big thing for us going into 2022, coming out of 21, it just expanded into 2 more locations. And I felt like, the core community and core basis of what I felt like our business was about and the cigar community was about, the culture, if you will. We had kind of lost a little bit of that camaraderie that I'm looking for, that fellowship. So that last year was a big focus on kind of reestablishing and enhancing the focus on fellowship mentality amongst not just us, but within the community of our group, right? Whether it's members, customers, visitors, or neophytes, people just coming into the industry for the first time. So it was important to us to again reestablish what the cigar culture meant to us, right? It's more than smoking cigars. We had talked about this the other day when we had a little technical difficulties in having we shoot. You can buy your stuff anywhere, right? And we've talked about this in meetings. You can buy liquor anywhere, you can buy cigars anywhere, you can buy whatever anywhere, right? It's, what experience are we giving these groups, right? Like, the whole point of me getting into this business for 6 years ago, whatever it's been, was to build something that I felt was missing in my life as a consumer, right? I've been in business, I've been in, the hospitality and casino industry for years, decade. And when I left that position and started out on my own, like the key thing I wanted to do, no matter fail or not, was to establish some camaraderie within the group and bring what I feel my core values are as a person within my own culture, and kind of merge that with the cigar culture. And I feel like we've done a really good job at that. So that's where the focus on fellowship came from. I'll let Joel give his points on what he feels that's about to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Jared nailed it. 100%. We kind of talked about this again the other night. Unfortunately, don't smoke in your garage when they're working on the cable. But he's 100% right. I get asked all the time, even, especially at Stilly, but it's like, what do y'all sell? Do you sell, cigars? Do you sell whiskey? Do you sell, pipe tobacco, whatever? I'm like, no, man, like we sell an experience. We want you to, feel comfortable coming to our locations every day, having great times with good friends. And, even you think of just like the little things, the nuances of it, like some of the special events that we do. You always get some cool stuff, but it's really you're always going to enjoy a great meal with great friends, a good pour. And it's like, you're going to leave that thinking, you know, what a time. I can't wait to be back to do it again. You know, you think about going to a ball game or you know, pro wrestling or something of that sort. Like, yeah, it's cool you saw a 20-minute wrestling match, but bro, you're surrounded by 20, 30,000 people, you know, 50,000, whatever, if you're in the pros. Like, we ain't got 50,000, not yet. But, you know, you come to an event, you're just surrounded by so many people and you're all having the common goal of enjoying a great time. And you're not going to forget it. I can still remember events and experiences that we've all shared from years ago, just because it was just that. So yeah, that hashtag was really a special one, because if you got into the depth of it, it really like focused on fellowship.
Talking about experiences, I mean, you've had together sitting in that office. Actually, it was after I don't remember what event.
Oh, it was I can see, case in point, it was Brad Fisher. It was an Illusione event.
Oh, that's right. We did the Illusione event, right?
That shows you how important it was. Yeah.
You know, if you guys have not been to the headquarters, mothership in Oklahoma City, there, we probably got seating for what, 50, 60 people.
Oh yeah,
right?
100%. That's
5,000 square foot building. You know, 2/3 of it is lounge area. My office is what, maybe like 12 by 12,
Yeah,
14 by 14 max, right?
Yeah,
with a desk, a big L-shaped desk, and all that in there. You know, tables and all crap, right? And then at the end of the night, here we are. There's like 12 of us crammed into this office. There's like people sitting on the desk, people sitting in chairs, people sitting in high tops behind the people in chairs. And we sitting there and laughed and had such a great time. And the next thing you know, it's like 1 a.m. and we're looking around like, why are we sitting? Why are we sitting in this office? All whole place is empty, right? We could have went and took up a whole room. Well, not even a whole room, but we took up like a third of a room in any other lounge area. But here we are sitting in my office acting stupid. So yeah, that, you know, those kind of memories, you know, Crawdaddy was there, freaking Apple John. It was just
Apple
a great
John,
time.
yeah.
So, you know, talk about the fellowship side. It's those memories there that we'll never forget. And that's, again, focused on the fellowship, right? That fellowship that we were bringing to the table to help develop those memories for us. So, so this year, our manager here in Tulsa came up with the cigar life. We had a little bit to it, living the cigar life. And it's kind of the same, you know, it's the same principle, right? It builds off the last year, right? What is the cigar life to you, Joel?
Yeah, again, you know, you wax poetic and realize only a quarter of it comes true last week or you know, the other night. But take this street taco here. This doesn't care if you're a ditch digger, doctor, doesn't care about your political affiliation, your religious affiliation, your sexual preference, whatever. This cares about coming together and experiencing our own Lincoln Horn, experiencing great times with great friends. I mean, I could, you know, obviously we want to keep this to 30 minutes, but I could tell you a story of sitting in a shop in Tampa with a guy that was wearing a white t-shirt, cargo shorts that I still know to this day, and he was smoking a $6 cigar, right? And we talked for 2 hours. You know, it's me, but before he left, and the owner of the shop says, "Do you know who that is?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's just, I don't want to leak him," but I was like, "Yeah, it's such and such." Turns out this is the dude that did all the architecture for downtown Tampa, like the Bayshore area and this and that, and was allegedly going to be doing the new stadium, which I think got shut down. But like, bro, like white t-shirt, cargo shorts, you know, saw the car in the parking lot, but it just shows you this doesn't care. This dude could have been smoking, you know, a nice Family Reserve and Opus or something. But I asked him, I said, next time I seen him, I said, "Bro, why that $6 cigar?" He goes, "Because it always treats me right." And he didn't care that I was just I think I was still working at Best Buy at the time, but like, he didn't care, man. We were just two friends sitting there enjoying the culture. That's it. That's it in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's a great story. Yeah. You know, for me, it's you know, a great example. I'll give you an example instead. I'm better at giving examples and explaining things. So this weekend we're hosting David Skelton's with the Texas Cigar Roadshow 60th birthday. His lovely wife Sheila had reached out to us and asked if we could put something together for him special. They're out of Waxahachie, Texas, so it's a bit of a drive. And so they got, you know, 40 guys coming in. We have Ty Kiss the Ring Hooks coming in from Wisconsin. And it just goes to show you, to me, that's what the cigar life's about, right? Like building these friendships and these and really brotherhoods with a lot of these guys, and lifelong, you know, relationships, and merging that in with the cigars, right? The camaraderie, the fellowship, the breaking bread together. Those are all the things that have always mattered to me in my life. So it's nice to be able to take the business side and merge it with the cultural side. Again, the fellowship, the camaraderie, and all that. And to me, that's what living the cigar life is about, right? Like getting to know guys, getting to hang out, building lifelong friendships, and spending everybody's big moments together, right? Like I can't tell you how excited I am for David and his wife to come up here and have this party up here. You know, 60th birthday is a big deal. And it's going to be a great weekend, man. We got people flying in Friday. I'm driving back tonight to OKC, start picking up people from the airport tomorrow. I'm hosting people at the house tomorrow night. I think we're going to go to Pub Dub tomorrow evening, take them out there, something a little different than our place, get some good food. You know, they got a new manager out there. I need to meet him. And yeah, just again, we're going to be living the cigar life this weekend, right? And combining all that stuff together. So that's what this year's about, is trying to draw some focus on what living the cigar life means, and sharing that with our community, right? So
100%.
there we go.
Yep.
Like we said, we're going to keep it short. So we're going to go right into our sports section of the thing, the podcast. Now, I'm going to say right now, I don't know what your record was last. I was 2-4. So obviously, I'm not going to be on ESPN anytime soon.
I have to go back and watch it because I think I made the comment about Minnesota being frauds, but I think I still picked them. So I think I was 2-2 as well. I don't think
there were 6 games, so you can't be 2-2.
Then it was, hold on, I'm trying to think. Those were the 2 I missed. Like I'm pretty sure I picked Minnesota and the Chargers. Boy, I'll tell you what.
You were 4-2.
4-2. Okay. So yep. If I was the Chargers, the other day they fired their OC. Bro, no cap. Like I would have fired the head coach. Like I like Staley. That can't happen.
How you fire the OC, bro? OC ain't the OC's.
Yeah, I mean, bro, like OC
listen, they could have. I don't know.
Derwin James and Khalil Mack and that vaunted defense. Asante Samuel. You know what? You want to talk about smart football real quick? Asante Samuel Jr., phenomenal talent. 3 interceptions in that game. Okay, of the Trevor Lawrence, because we thought that was over early. And then the other, the defensive coordinator or the offensive coordinator, excuse me, for Jacksonville, basically said, "Cool, I'm happy for his 3 interceptions. See if your 5'9" cornerback can tackle my 2 running backs in space when I pull them out to the seam, or if he makes a business decision." They kept doing it. Like that's what set up the field goal. And no disrespect. I mean, Asante Samuel Jr. is a great talent. His dad's a legend. Tulsa's own Mario Harris probably remembers Asante Samuel with the Philly Eagles, man. But yeah, either way, we'll talk about these other games, man.
All right, first game up. I just did them in order, bro.
Mm-hmm.
We'll let you lead off. Jags at Chiefs. Who you got?
Man, speaking of that, I'm so damn tired of this Jags feel-good story. It's crap. Everybody knows. But we're going to find out, man. It's a hot team. But look, man, like Kansas City got this, bro. Like that damn Patrick Mahomes. I would say right now that's the MVP of the league. I mean, considering you just lost Tyreek Hill, yeah, you got Kelsey. But, man, he's turned like these, the McCole Hardmans, and he's got Juju and, some of these young kids over there. That running back that came out of nowhere that damn near replaced Edwards-Helaire, Pacheco or whatever. Like, yeah, offense is good. That's a very underrated defense. Yeah, they got some, great players in the secondary like the Thornhills and stuff, but that front, man, guys like Chris Jones and Frank Clark, who was over in Seattle, like those guys are pretty predominant pass rushers. So I'm not going to pick the score, but I think Chiefs got this one. This should be a walk in the park, hopefully.
I agree. I got the Chiefs. I did want to give credit to Jags, though, man. Listen. 20 down 27-0. You just thrown 3 picks, right? In the first quarter, first
4,
half.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, 4 in the first half, right? So, a lot of teams that wouldn't just fold, right?
Like
so I give the young guy credit, give the coach credit. No, they got a hell of a coach, right? Let's just we can all agree on that.
Oh, Doug Peterson, Super Bowl with the Eagles.
And as much as I wasn't on Trevor Lawrence, like, bro, it takes a pretty big set to be able to shake that off and lead your team. I think that score at the end of the first half was key into building the momentum going into the second half. I know that sounds kind of dumb when you're down 20,
sure,
but that was a game-winning decision for him.
Sure.
Think about it. I mean, drive. If they didn't have that drive, they're not going to win the game. So I am, as much as I liked watching that game and I always like seeing somebody overcome adversity. They're not overcoming the Chiefs at home, baby. It's playoff time, baby. Let's go.
Hell of a stage. Yeah.
Chief Nation in the house, baby.
Ooh,
all right. Next up, the Giants at the Eagles.
You go first on this one, man.
All right. Well,
an interesting one.
the only concern I have is how healthy Jalen Hurts is, right? Because he's a mobile guy. If he can't use his legs like he wants, it really limits what he does. Now, listen, he has come along as a passer big time in the last couple of years. Hats off to him. Great team. And we know that that team runs with their offense versus their defense. That's their strong point. Is definitely the offense. The defense is coming around, but it's the core strength of that team is offense. So I'm going to pick Jalen. Obviously, Bama OU kid. I'm only riding with him because he's an OU kid.
Yeah.
So I got the Eagles.
It's going to be an interesting game. I was sitting here with one of our great guys. We call him UPS Todd. Last night, he's a lifelong Bills fan. We'll talk about that shortly. But you can really see how important Brian Dable, however you say it, was to that team last year because of what he's done with the Giants. I mean, the Giants were a perennial trash. Let's be honest with you. Somebody asked me, is Daniel Jones a good quarterback 5 years in? I said, man, I couldn't tell you because I don't know. Like, you never really get enough of a sample size outside, some dumb mistakes and stuff. But he's been phenomenal this year. Having said that, man, like even if Jalen has a bad game, which I don't expect him to, he's been tremendous. He's got to be an MVP favorite, if not for Mahomes this year. But that damn defense, man, like that defense is so good, Jarrett. Like there's people I forget that are on that team. Like I forgot they got C.J. Garner-Johnson from the Saints, who's a tremendous safety. You got Darius Slay, James Bradbury playing out of their mind. Not to mention, they got the entire damn Georgia team, minus Jalen Carter, the Jordan Davises of the world. And they got veterans like Fletcher Cox and, Brandon Graham, a great offensive line. Like it's good running attack with Sanders. I think the Giants will put up a fight because they're putting together a young team. But I think that Alabama kid that they got a left tackle is about to get baptized, kind of like you did with DeMarcus Lawrence. Like if they got Fletcher on him or one of these kids coming off the edge, bro, he's going to get to town on Daniel Jones. So I think the Eagles win it. I think it'll be a close game. Philly at home. It's a hot crowd. It's a volatile crowd, but I think Philly's got it.
Fair enough. Next up, Bengals at the Bills.
Dude, I got to be honest with you. This is like the one game, even with my team playing this week, this is the one game that I cannot predict. I will for our podcast, but it's like you think of Cincinnati's high-powered offense, Buffalo's incredible defense. Obviously, they've got a lot to be planned for with this, with DeMar Hamlin and that whole horrible thing. And glad to hear he's doing a lot better. But Buffalo is missing key pieces on defense. Like Devon Miller's out. Obviously Hamlin was playing great. And I think it's Hyde that went out with a neck injury. So a lot of their secondary guys are pretty banged up. Kyer Elam, the rookie from Florida, is out, and he's been playing good football. But Buffalo's got a tremendous offense too. But Cincinnati, man, like there's some swag to that team. Joey B and Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and all that. Like, but you're playing in Buffalo. I know Todd will kill me on this because America will kill us for this, but I think Cincinnati wins this game. I would not be surprised either way, but
I agree. I feel like Cincinnati's got a chip on their shoulder. I think, they're playing really good football right now, and I think that's important in any sport as you're kind of getting into the playoff season. Is it's great to have a record at the end of the year, but how are you playing going into the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
So they look phenomenal. The offense is cold, in a good way. I just have a feeling. I don't know why. Yeah. Obviously after last week's picks, I'm not an expert. But yeah, I got Cincinnati. Buffalo struggled last week, bro. And I don't know if they're going to pull a Dallas where they struggled the week before and came back firing.
Sure.
That's easy to do against a team that struggled, limped their way into the playoffs like the Buccaneers did. Obviously, Tom did not play up to par, but
terrible game.
Cincinnati's not limping right now. They're coming in firing all pistons. So I got Cincinnati as well.
And kudos, we're not even talking about the obvious. Kudos to Cincinnati for how they've handled this, because you think about this, obviously, with the DeMar Hamlin tragedy. If Cincinnati wins that game, they're not playing in Buffalo. They're playing in Cincinnati tonight.
Actually, Cincinnati had a chance to take the number one seed. So
we were talking about that. Yeah,
the whole system, and I get that they had to do some emergency stuff. I think we talked a little bit the last episode, but Cincinnati kind of was the one that got screwed out of that deal. I think they're using that as a chip on their shoulder moving forward. So
100%. But
We'll see.
yeah.
Last
Exactly.
up, them boys
Oh boy.
at the Niners. So I'll go first since
Please do.
so you have plenty of time to talk about them boys.
Them boys.
So I'll say this: hats off to Brock Purdy. Um, I'll be honest, I haven't really watched a lot of 49er football this year.
Yeah.
But man, I did not expect him to play at the level he did. And I'll say that his core group though around him, they're lights out, man.
Stupid.
Like Debo, God, he is on a different level. So you're at the 49ers. The defense is playing lights out. The offense is playing great. He's got a great offensive line. He's not really having to make big time plays. He's making good throws. But when you can throw it to Debo on a 5-yard out and he's taking it for 20, 30 yards, along with some other great players on that team, I got the 49ers.
I'm glad this game is happening because you were going to have to play them eventually. So you either beat them and you move on to a winnable game against Philly or the Giants, or you don't. You go home. I can't be mad at McCarthy this year either way. You think of the adversity they dealt with. I've always been critical of Kellen Moore, our offensive coordinator, but he was coaching last week for a head coaching job. Let's be honest. I mean, Dax had a rough year, but I mean, that was a to quote the great Shannon Sharp, that was a virtuoso performance last week. I mean, Tom was shook, but Dak was coming in there. I mean, obviously the kicker woes, that could be a whole nother level to this game. I'm going to pick Dallas because it's my team, but I wouldn't be surprised. Like Brock Purdy is able to fit in that system. Now, if you take Brock Purdy from his freshman, sophomore campaigns at Iowa State, dude, that's a first round pick. His junior year was so bad that's, and then the senior year wasn't much better. But that's why he was Mr. Irrelevant. But that system is set up where you can have a guy like a Trey Lance or a Jimmy G or Brock Purdy to just get in there and game manage. Hell, you put a Ryan Tannehill in there. They're probably the same team. It's a great run. You know what you understand what I'm saying now? Like you get
that might be a stretch, bro.
No, but you get what I'm saying. Like one of these game managers. But I don't know about no Trubisky, but that defense is just stupid. Like Nick, people forget, the other, forget Joey because of how good Nick is. I mean, you got to remember this team was able to trade DeForest Buckner off that line, and they replaced him with Kinlaw, and the whole thing, across the line is stupid. They got great young corners. I think they got the Ward kid from you guys, from the Chiefs. They got this Oregon kid, Diamador Lenore, great safeties. They're physical. The linebackers, that Fred Warner is stupid underrated. I mean, offensive line, one of the best in the league, potent running attack. And you nailed it. Let's say you shut down Kittle, okay? And you shut down, maybe you put Trayvon on Debo, and he's able to shut him down, okay? You still got to worry about Brandon Ayuk. You still got to worry about these four. They're so deep. Like Dallas is weak at that right side corner, and don't think they're not exploiting that. So Dallas is going to have to bring everything they've got on both sides of the ball. It's going to be an uphill challenge, but we'll be celebrating our dear friend David Skelton that Saturday over at Stag, and it's either going to be a real good night or a real bad night for your boy. Either way, we're going.
Well, that game's the night game, Sunday night, bro.
Oh, that's right. I keep thinking they flipped it around.
Yeah, Saturday it's we open up
night either way. Then
we open up with Jags, Chiefs, Giants, Eagles.
Oh,
will be during the event. I think we'll be finishing up the Kansas City game during the event, and then afterward we'll be watching the Giants and Eagles.
Perfect, good
the party.
Well, I'll either be very happy or very sad sacking it myself on Sunday. We'll see how it goes, but gonna be hell of a playoff stretch this weekend. So.
All right. Well, that wraps it up. Like I said, we were going to keep this second one short. We've started reaching out to some different guests, whether it's some coaches in the community, college coaches, and opportunities to get some reps and some manufacturer owners on here. So we're looking forward to that in the future. So stay tuned. We got a lot more exciting episodes coming up. We just wanted to keep this one a little short since we went over a little long, kind of working out our format. Definitely appreciate everybody's support. Not just for the podcast, but for all the locations, the Omerta Cigar companies in Oklahoma City, South Tulsa, and Monroe, Louisiana. Stag Lounge, there, the original location in Oklahoma City, and the newest one that Joel is owner operator of in Stillwater, along with the Wilshire Dive Bar, which our patio reconstruction and new bathroom addition is almost done. Looking forward to the opening for that this spring. And PuroCigarHouse.com, one of the best places to get boutique cigars in the country. So stop by, check us out, help support our people, help keep getting insurance and roofs over their head. We definitely appreciate that. We try to take care of our staff. Big shout out to Brady Mixon and where is he?
Right.
Amarillo, Texas. I
Yeah.
like to call him the big Tejas Tears. He's a big Longhorns fan, so he's always crying those big tears.
Oh, yeah.
And our boy Slick Rick at the HQ. Happy birthday to him today. He'll be in today at 12:30, doing what men do, working on the birthdays, baby. So big shout out to Wayne. Come by, see us.
Legend, a true
Wayne Van
legend.
Horst, 5 days a week. He didn't get that hashtag grumpy for no reason, so come by and come by and see. Everybody gets a hashtag, bro. Come by, see him, check out the shop. It's a great shop. One of the few or the only real members lounge here in the Tulsa area. Getting ready to celebrate our second birthday coming up in a few months. And yeah, we're gonna have Sinistro cigars from California. The guys in the house for that. So Joel, appreciate you, man. You have a phenomenal day. We'll talk soon.
Absolutely.
Everybody out there, don't forget to keep living that cigar life, baby. Peace.
Peace.